So today we're talking about how to make this happen where you are, and these things are starting to happen around the country. So yes, thank you to the idiot press that put it out that we are doing this and it's working, because now everyone else around the country is going, great, it's working for them, let's do it here. So anyone setting up a market somewhere else, I would say first step, get some private land. What I'm hearing from around the country is there's a lot of people who are very unhappy with what the government is doing and are more than happy to step up. So yeah, there's some good properties being offered for people to set up their markets. This all started when I went along to Mott Market, which has been my market for the last 3 years, and was ordered out because my mask exemption was not accepted. So I went out to try and find another site, and quite fortuitously stumbled on a private property with the AMP showgrounds, and that has turned out to be really good because it means we can keep the corporate predators at bay. Yeah, I think this is where the other market holders have had difficulty. They're on council land, and council have got them jumping through these ridiculous hoops. I put it out there that this was happening, went around one of the local markets, put out flyers, got a huge response. I think we had the advantage too of a great community backing here in Nelson. There's a very big freedom movement here, and they came out and supported us, so that got us off with a hiss and a roar. But I actually think that will happen anywhere. So yeah, number one, get that private land. Number two, get your protections in place. We've got the signs on the gate which say private property. Crown and corporate agents are not admitted. So if they set foot on our market property, they have a $100,000 fine for doing so. That's their cost to come in. I don't think you can really proceed unless you've got a good grounding in your common law. I'm referring everybody to the Occult Art of Law, which is a really good basic, easy to listen to video. Norm Collins' work, I mean, we're very, very lucky having him here.
Penny approached me about coming along to be the gatekeeper, if you like. So that's kind of how I ended up with that position, yeah. The standpoint, it comes back to private and public, actually, and because we are operating off private land, as individuals, as free, sovereign individual beings, man and woman, we have the unlimited ability to contract. And of course our contracts go into confidentiality. And so we have private confidential contracts with all the individuals that we commerce with and interact with. And that's how we operate. Because it's private land, the occupier has the right to trespass. And so we put up the appropriate notices to accordingly notify them that they will be up for certain fines and liabilities if they step onto the property, just like any private landowner has the ability to do.
These common law guys, a lot of them are quite nerdy. They've been studying this for years. They're experts. They've got it all in their heads. They're really passionate about it, and they love sharing it. And for decades they've known that, hey, this is the way to take society forward. This is the way to protect yourself from being preyed on. But nobody's been listening, but suddenly everybody is listening. Everybody needs to know this stuff. And it is the hour for these guys. So they would be more than happy to step up and fill you in and get you up to speed. These people will be in your community, so you get out and find those people. Now, when we started at the AMP, I said to them, you need to expect mudslinging and character assassination and the press to do a hit job on you.
What media spinners are you?
I'm staying outside the gates. I'm from New Sub TV3 and I've talked to Penny Cameron.
Okay. Media spinners. These are the guys. These are the guys that tell the lies that cause people to die. TV3, folks.
Most people were not wearing masks today, despite it being mandatory.
There's no need for masks in this area. We have a big enough area here that it's perfectly safe.
There was a little interaction at the last market we had down at the Richmond AMP Showgrounds where TV3 showed up and attempted to solicit. They were held back appropriately and they knew their boundaries. I highly implore people to pull out their phones and start interacting with their phones and record these interactions because, not only is a third party witness, but it also helps to keep people in line and act accordingly, and, that's how we want to be, and in civil interactions and everything up front and transparent, and that's how we want to operate.
The manager of the Freedom Market, Penny Cameron, declined our request for an interview and said media is not allowed on this site.
But they made it quite clear that they understand that that notice we have on the gate is a contract. And if they set foot over your threshold, they have accepted that contract. And if they're going to pay you $100,000, good. They're welcome to come in. That could have gone quite a long way. And the same applies to police. They're not allowed in. They're not admitted. They are a corporate or crown agent, is what they're acting as, which means they, the individual police officers, can pay their $100,000 if they wish to get on site. They won't. And they know that it is contract law. They can't set foot on private property unless they think a crime has been committed. A crime is an act of harm to people or property. And your mask wearing, people think mandate, I have to do it. Yeah. And the legal definition of a mandate is something that you choose to consent to. So anything they're throwing at us, we have a right of consent or a right of refusal. The whole maritime law system is contract law. And everybody thinks, oh, we have to do this and we have to do that because the government said it and the district councils are saying it. It is contract law. In which case you can look at that and go, do I actually want this? Does this work for me? And I think we're all familiar with the expression, I do not consent. That is a legal statement.
Well, you see, you've got to realise that the COVID situation, all the rules and regulations come under what's called legislation. Now, legislation is legal, of course, and so there's another side of that coin, and that is the lawful aspect of things. And so it goes back to common law, natural law, sovereign law, tikanga, whatever, there's all sorts of different names that these foundational precepts come from, which is ultimately it's God, from God. People are going to trade and barter and commune and get on. That's how we are as people and as human beings and as free sovereign people.
They're trying to enforce fraudulent laws that don't apply to living men and women. The whole maritime system is based on the ludicrous premise that you are dead. And most people also don't know that when your birth certificate gets signed, you are signed as being dead. And that allows the state to administer your estate for you. So to step out of that system, all you need to do is say, actually, I'm alive. I'm not dead, I'm alive. I do not need you administering my affairs. You can step back or step down. We have a foreign-owned corporation that is masquerading as a government, fraudulently capitalising on us in every possible way they can. And they've been doing so for decades. We're now at the extent of they're telling us we cannot work and what we must wear and where we can go and how far apart from people we stand. And, I do not consent is a long sentence. What we need to say is no. We need to get no back into our language very, very loudly.
Unfortunately, these times where those authorities seem to be encroaching more and more upon our freedoms, I think it's time people started standing up and really, questioning, because through a few simple questions we can pretty much expose the fraud that's been going on for a long time, and that's where we need to be at. The thing that I would really like to encourage people to do out there is to start looking into your rights, your Bill of Rights, and go further back in time to the 1688 Bill of Rights and look into these documents, because these are the documents that are the weapons that allow you to be able to defend and protect yourselves. So I would highly implore you to go and start looking at your rights, start looking into common law, natural law, tikanga, and start looking at how you can start applying this into your lives, because it's a very powerful tool, and it's a huge remedy that we all really need in these times.
Worldwide, everyone's sort of sitting around waiting for someone to come and save them, and what we all need to do is actually educate ourselves in how we save ourselves, how we stand up. We're all creative, we're all intelligent, we can do this, we just need to know, and that's really it. And we're just finding that the collective energy has been amazing, and that's really what's given this thing wings so quickly. And, people coming into the market saying they can just feel the happiness. There's just joy and freedom. It's like a ripple effect, If it's working in one place, it'll just go out and out. And it's not a violent revolution we have here. It's just the people getting together and doing the right thing and looking after each other. And I think wherever there's people wanting to make this happen for others, you're going to have that energy, and it's going to fly.